took off this last factory manifold. All the bolts came out except for this one. It was a little shorty, and sure enough, the bolt had snapped off inside of the block. So went over to Home Depot, bought these little extractors. This is a Ryobi brand, and tried that. I tried this smaller one first. It snapped the tip off of that. So then I moved up drill bit size. Actually, I went over this number 3. You can see, and it just ended up stripping the threads on that. Never could get a bite. So what I ended up doing was just finding a drill bit that would just fit into one of the good ones. So I know it was just not in the threads. I ended up just drilling it out with that size and then retapping it, which I think was a M8 125. I think thread is what it ended up being. It seemed to work pretty good. I just test fitted the header on there, and it all bolted back up. These I could get tight. Well, there she is. I think it's finally ready to go back in the car. Hopefully the next video will be exactly that. But we've got tranny all on. Finally found a clutch that'll fit that Fidenza flywheel. That was kind of a nightmare, but about 5 clutches later, I finally have one that fits. Tranny's all full. Got exhaust manifolds or headers back on. I'm going to leave the starter off until I get the crank sensor plugged in, so it'll be a little easier to get to. That'll be super easy on this car to get to from the bottom. But yeah, I think it's basically all buttoned up, ready to go. Motor plates are on, dipsticks in it, crank harmonic balancers on. So got the clutch line, and then installed a remote bleeder for the transmission, so it'll be easy to get to. Yeah, that's pretty much it. All buttoned up, and next shot hopefully is going in there. she is. The motor's officially in. Had my dad and my buddy Joey come over and help again to get this thing stabbed back in here. It all went pretty smooth, except for before I started filming, I forgot that when you rotate the motor up and the tranny's low, all the trans fluid leaks out of the tail shaft. So I lost a lot of the fluid I just put in there. So I'm hoping I've got enough. I've got half a quart left. I hope I've got enough to refill it. But other than that, it all went in pretty good. Getting everything lined up wasn't too bad. Getting the transmission mount molded back up, Joey handled pretty much all of that. So now the fun begins, getting all the parts and pieces bolted back up, everything lines run, then start putting the Holly system on, getting the steering rack and all that hooked back up. We'll be pretty early, it looks like, to get to this back steering rack bolt. I'm going to have to remove this alternator again, so I'll pull that off of there, but it'll probably help get the steering shaft lined up as well. But anyway, motor's back in, and now all the little stuff can start.